All right, folks. Hopefully, you've had a chance to write down some rules or some laws, and maybe even shared those with some folks around you. Um, we're going to read a story here today that's all about robots. And one thing I like about science fiction is it asks some interesting questions. For instance, this question I have on the screen sort of relates to what we've been dealing with in the past few minutes. At what point would a man made robot be considered an individual, not a machine? Kind of an interesting, thought provoking question that a lot of science fiction writers have tried to deal with. One of the most famous or well known science fiction writers is a man named Isaac Asimov. He's one of the, I guess, sort of founders of what we would think of when we think of science fiction. He was Russian. He lived from 1920 to 1922, and he was a scientist. He used his background in science to write several popular science fiction stories. And I thought I'd just share this quickly with you. He predicted some different things that are kind of spooky if you look back at some of his predictions. Oops. Let me click on this. Good old BuzzFeed here. So it's Isaac Asimov's 1964 predictions about 2014 are frighteningly accurate. So I'll just share a few of these. He said, "One thought that occurs to me is that men will continue to withdraw from nature in order to create an environment that will suit them better." I have a picture that represents how we might be doing that today. Kitchen units will be devised that will prepare auto meals, heating water and converting it into coffee. Not something that existed back then, but does today. Complete lunches and dinners with food semi-prepared will be stored in the freezer until ready for processing. You can go to any supermarket and see this. The appliances of 2014 will have no electric cords, of course, and we're getting increasingly more and more wireless as we progress with our technology in 2017. Much effort will be put into the designing of vehicles with robot brains. Lots of talk about driverless cars. We've even had those discussions in this class. There will be increasing emphasis on transportation that makes the least possible contact with the surface. You may have heard of this Hyperloop technology that people are trying to develop. And let's do one more. By 2014, only unmanned ships will have landed on Mars, though a manned expedition will be in the works. And in 2014, we'll show an example of an elaborate Martian colony. So, there's been talk about going to Mars, and that's still something that has yet to be done, but definitely something that we're on our way towards. So, just a few little things that Isaac Asimov predicted back in 1964, um, because he was thinking about some of these interesting questions that had to do with science, that have to do with robotics, and kind of inform our present day reality. So, in any case, the story that we're going to be reading is called Robot Dreams, and you're going to find that on page 23 of our science fiction factor textbook. Now, this is a little textbook that you'll see over on the table. I'd like you to get one. You're not going to take these home. You'll want to put them back before the class is out. But we are going to read this story called Robot Dreams, which I think is kind of an interesting window into some of Asimov's thoughts on robots and some of the rules even that he thought would be appropriate for robots to have. So that is that. We'll get you started reading Robot Dreams.